This is a video on backhand English. I want to show a really neat way that you can train your mind to recognize where to aim the shot without having to use the backhand English method every time. Anytime you use side spin. And the backhand English method works great once you figure out, the bridge length for your specific cue, because the cue deflection, the shaft deflection makes a difference when it comes to how this cue ball reacts off the tip when you're using this little pivot method. And what I mean by backhand English is if I'm shooting a shot and I'm lying straight through the center of the cue ball like this, and I want to apply left hand spin, backhand English would be to line the ball up and then move my right hand, my grip hand, the backhand, away from my body to hit the left side of the cue ball. So if this ball were sitting here and I want to shoot this 10 ball in that pocket and apply inside English, which is going to be right hand English this time because it's inside the shot angle, I would line straight center to center like this. I should have picked the shot closer, but I'm stretching here. I'm going to line straight from the center through the center of the cue ball to the aim point, which is right there. And then to apply the spin, I would rotate my hand in toward my body. The problem with this, now I'm on a pretty good line. I know my cue pretty well. This looks like it's going to make the ball and apply this inside spin. But the problem is, I stepped into a line that was here. My right hand, my shoulder, and my elbow, my entire body is lined for this line. My back foot, I came in and stepped right on that line. Now, once I got here, I transferred weight to my other foot so I could reach it a little better, but I stepped in on this line. And then when I rotate my cue inward, now my cue and my hand are no longer on the same line as my elbow, my shoulder, and my foot. So I'm out of sync with the shot. I'm probably still going to make it. But the problem with that method is that your mind, the subconscious part of your mind, will try to fix that shot in that final stroke, because not everything's not on the line. So it's an awkward position to have your body in one place, even if it's a ½ inch off from where the cue is lined. So a good way to do this is you line the shot up. Let me move it where I can reach it here. You line the shot up like you're going to shoot this straight through the center of the cue ball. This is where I'm aiming. And then sure, I can rotate my hand over and get an idea. Right there is going to be where my inside English is. But like I said, my hand now is off the line. This hand is off the line. It's not in line with my foot or the cue, and my shoulder. Everything is kind of out of sync. But I can pay attention here to where this line is pointing on the object ball. So now I have a new line. It's this shot with inside English. So if I'm going to shoot this shot straight with no English, my foot is on the line, my hand, everything is on the line. It's right here. Pow, I want to make the ball. But now I know if I want to shoot the same shot through the right-hand side of the cue ball, to use top right, I know I'm going to be aiming now at a spot right there on the 10 ball through this side of the cue ball. So that's going to require me to adjust my whole body to that line, which is simply moving a tiny bit. Now my foot is on that line. This hand is going to come down on the line. Everything is straight on this line, which is the line that I need to be able to pocket this ball and apply the inside spin. So what I'm getting at is you can use the backhand English method. You just have to get used to your cue, because if you're going to shoot this shot and have the cue ball hit the rail and spin around the table and go up into this area using top right, and you're going to use the backhand English, you're lining up here and then you're going to rotate your backhand over, and when you do that, your hand is out of sync with the shot. You may still make it, but it's much better to line it up, rotate over, look at where the new aim line is now through this side of the cue ball, and then get back up and come down on that line, which is right there. Now everything, my hand, my foot, everything is on this line. This is the line that's going to pocket the ball with the right hand spin. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm making a lot of sense, but you get used to doing that, and then your brain you'll recognize these shots. When you step into the shot, there are 3 different ways to step into a shot most of the time. If this ball's sitting out here and I'm sitting there, and I'm just going to shoot it straight into the pocket using a vertical center line on the cue ball, which is draw, center, or top, then I'm standing here. My foot is on this line, on the aim line that I'm going to send the cue ball down. My cue is on it, my backhand is on it, everything is on this line. I'm going to make the ball. If I want to shoot the shot with outside spin, I'm going to step in on a different line. I'm going to aim this ball just a little thick. I'm going to aim it to about right there, because the outside English I'm going to use is going to help throw the 3 ball this way. So when I step into that shot, I'm just a little bit thicker now. I'm not on the same line that I would use if I were going to hit this ball with no English. So now I'm using right hand spin. I'm lining it up just a little thick. So when I hit it, I get this action. But it's a different line. Same way if I'm going to set this shot up and shoot it with left hand spin, this is where my back foot goes, and my right arm, my elbow, everything is right here with no English. With outside spin, I'm moving over just a tiny bit and coming in through the right hand side of the ball. With left hand spin, I'm going to be over just a tiny bit more based on my cue and my deflection of my shaft, how it's going to affect this cue ball. I know that my foot is now on a line through the left hand side of the cue ball to a spot on this 8 ball that will have the cue ball in the right place. And when I come down into the shot, everything is on that line. I'm not getting down into the shot and then moving my back hand around and then hoping that final go through hits the right spot. That's a good way to learn, and it really does work. It's a really great method once you figure out your bridge length and the speed of the shot. All of this stuff matters when it comes to using the backhand English. But to train your brain to just step in on the correct line every time, pay attention when you use backhand English, what it looks like, the alignment of your cue. So I'm going to go back to shoot this shot straight with no English. It's right here. Now if I get down and look at this and I want to use inside spin and I rotated my hand out this way, now I am looking straight through the left side of this cue ball to a spot right there on the 8 ball. Let your mind see that. Get in the habit while you're practicing to not shoot the shot like here's where I'm going to aim normally. And then I'm going to use the backhand English method. Try to get in the habit of not shooting from here. Instead, this is my new line. Get back up. Come down on that line. Oops, I missed you. But what I'm trying to do is show a way that you can train your mind to recognize where you need to aim, where you need to stand to align for the shot with English. And have everything on the line. So to set the same shot up, right in there somewhere. So if I'm going to stand on this shot and shoot it straight in, it's right there. If I use the backhand spin, I'm over here like this. Now my right hand is out of sync with my foot and my shoulder and my elbow. The cue is on the right line, but my machine body parts that I have muscle memory are not in tune with the line that the cue is on because I've got everything out of sync. So just get in the habit, if you're going to use the backhand English method, get in the habit of paying attention to what this looks like after you spin your backhand out or in, and then get back up and readjust and come down on that line. That way your hand, your elbow, everything is on the correct line when you come down on it, and you get the action that you're trying to get more consistently. Because when your hand is off from your foot, your shoulder, and your elbow, and it's hard to guide the cue straight because your subconscious wants to jump in and line everything up on that final stroke. So I just wanted to show that the good method to use is you experiment with that backhand English. And if it works for you, then you find your bridge length and the right speed. And I say speed because it does matter. If I have a ball sitting here like this, and I want to shoot this ball with inside right hand spin, so the cue ball hits here and goes over here and maybe comes up here and gets me shape on the 9 on the side. Well, actually, it's going to go here, here, and over into this area. To start from scratch again, if I'm standing here, this is the line. Everything is on it, my foot, my hand, just to shoot it with no English. If I want to shoot it with inside spin, the line is here, just a tiny bit to this side. Now I'm there. If I want to shoot it with outside spin, it's right here. I'm making sure every time I come down, I'm like a machine. My right hand, my right foot, my elbow, my shoulder, and the cue are all lined up for the shot. Instead of coming down and then twisting my hand out to apply the spin and shooting from there. That'll give you an idea of where the line is. So I'm just asking you to stand back up and come back down on the adjusted line. You'll find yourself becoming more consistent, and you're training your brain to recognize that. So when this shot comes up, you don't have to come down here and pre-set up straight where it would be with no spin, and then do the backhand, and look at that, and then come over here and come in on that. You'll just start recognizing it. You'll just automatically get up and know that's the line for the shot. But speed and the amount of spin you're going to use makes a difference. Because if I shoot this soft, I'm going to have to change that line a little bit. If you keep a good medium stroke most of the time, the line's not going to change. If I shoot from here with a speed that I'm thinking I need, it's perfect. If I have to shoot it really soft from here, I'm probably going to go this way a little bit more with my whole body, because this ball is going to squirt a little bit more and masse a little bit because I'm slightly elevated. So, but if I shoot it firm, it's going to go and slide all the way here. I'm not going to have to worry about that little extra thing. So I'm just saying speed and spin make a difference. But the backhand English method is a good method to start learning how to play. You'll get to where you just recognize shots. If you want to shoot this ball and draw and use some low left and come around the table like this to get shape on the 9 over here, I'm going to bring the cue ball into that area. You just know when you step into this shot, it's right here. Now to my eyes, this looks thick, because it looks like I'm aiming to put the cue ball right there, which is sending the 13 ball into this point. But I'm using a lot of left-hand spin and a lot of draw. So what's going to happen when I hit this cue ball right here, the cue ball is going to throw the 13 ball to the right, and the cue ball is going to take the spin and go around the table. So these shots, I do aim them thicker. If I were going to use inside English, I'm still aiming it thicker, almost like I'm lining up to an aim point that puts the ball there. Now, if I were just going to shoot it with no English, I'm going to line it up to put the ball here, which, I would stand right here. This is the back foot, right hand stroke placement to put the 13 ball there. But if I want to use all this spin, I'm going to move over this way just a tiny bit. And now it looks like I'm aiming thick. But that works. If I were to use the inside English, that was low left, which is outside. This will be the inside. It's the same thing. This is where I would stand with no English. And just a tiny bit over, this is where I'm going to stand with the right hand English. And you get used to recognizing that, then you're not really going to have a whole lot of problems with playing English to the ball anymore. Speed, like I said, speed and the amount of spin change things. That's just something you learn through experience. But I really just wanted to show that if you're going to use the backhand English method, try to incorporate some visual help for your mind to recognize when you get down on the ball and you backhand English in or out, instead of shooting from this out of kilter position, readjust your body to the new line that you can see from standing right here. And I think you'll get better at applying the English when you do that. I think it's really all I wanted to show in this video, because we've been talking about this a lot. A couple of guys over the past couple of weeks, we were just setting up shots. And well, you know, well, every time I do that, I overcut the ball. So if you're shooting this 14 ball over there and you're going to use a lot of left, and if you're going to stand on the line that puts it straight into the pocket, you're going to overcut it. So you need to actually stand on a line that looks thicker to your mind. This looks like I'm lined up a little thick here. But that's what I need to do if I'm going to use the spin. If I'm not, then I'm going to be on this line, which is a no spin line. So that's all I'm saying, that not every shot, there are 3 different lines on a ball most of the time. I mean, that you can use. 3 different aim lines for the same shot. Well, I'm just using like the center pocket. I'm not talking about if I've got a ball here and I have to shoot it to this side of the pocket, I'm going to aim a little thinner. I'm just saying, to send this ball straight to the middle of that pocket, I'm going to stand right here for a center ball shot, or top or bottom. I'm going to stand right here for inside, and I'm going to stand right here for the outside, which looks thick, and the inside looked thick. And one more thing before I close the video off. Here in Vegas a couple years ago, we were showing some shots like this. Jerry Bryce's, it was a little bank session, and afterwards a guy came up to me and said, you kept calling that inside English, but that was actually outside. So I want to share why it's called inside and outside. And this might be generic information for most people, but it's surprising how many people really don't understand inside and outside. So this is, I'm shooting this ball into that pocket. As you can tell, I'm cutting the ball to the left. This is inside the shot angle, because there's an angle right in here. So if I'm going to apply a left-hand spin when I'm cutting the ball to the left, that is inside the shot angle. I'm cutting the ball to the left. If I'm going to use outside English, then it's going to be outside the shot angle, which is to the right for this case. If the ball were sitting here and I'm like this, now I'm cutting the ball to the right, so this is inside the angle and this is outside. So now left hand spin is outside English and right hand spin is inside English. Inside the little cut angle. Now if you're straight in, there is no inside or outside, it's just left or right, because there is no angle here. There's the straight in line. But if I move the cue ball over here, now all of a sudden I've created an angle right here, and this is inside that little angle. This is outside. So just thought I would share that.